Hello there! This guy snatched me out of the internet to narrate his videos, so I guess that's what I'll be doing now. You can call me Jessie, and I'll be popping up every now and then to try explaining this mess. With introductions out of the way, let's paint this sweet Rory Mercury model from Hybris 3D Studios. With any 3D printed model, a butt-ton of sanding has to happen. A mix of 320 and 600 grit wet sanding gets it done pretty quick. After that, a quick coat of primer gets it ready for paint. A glossy coat of carbon black for the base and hair gives a nice finish and proves why an airbrush is possibly one of the greatest tools in the hobbyist arsenal. For the roses, a base coat of flame red with a layer of Blood Angel's red contrast paint gives them a more natural tint. Time for the old reliable mix of Kislev, Nomad, and Wildling flesh tones to give her some color. Saw this one from another painter. If you have them, take some pastel chalk and scrape some off to dry brush a little blush for the face. This doesn't work quite as well as pigment powder, but you can find these in most big box stores, and the price is pretty reasonable. Start with the lighter Kislev as your base, then add Nomad to areas that need definition, and lastly, soften the darker edges from the Nomad flesh with a feather-light touch of Wildling flesh. This model has so many fiddly bits, so assembling as you go keeps them from getting lost on a messy desk. For the stocking effect, paint the legs with your skin tones and mix transparent burnt sienna with a few drops of carbon black ink. Lightly spray that on the legs, making sure not to overcoat any spots. That ink can be found at your local Michael's Crafts. Perfectly thin for airbrushes. This is where thin detail brushes really pay for themselves. like the roses, the skirt parts get a bright base coat, followed by a dark contrast to emphasize the folds and shadows on the fabric. Just be sure to mask off the connection points for a good bond. Gluing paint to paint is a recipe for self-disassembly. A little zoom-in action shows the beginning of the most tedious part of this model. The underlayer in matte white with the outer layer in matte black, and the skirt bits in corn red. In case you can't tell, a guy is writing this script and doesn't know what these items of clothing are called. She's looking pretty good so far, if I do say so myself. Just thought I'd pop in and say, if you like what we do, then consider subscribing. We have lots of great models just waiting to go, and I'd hate to see you missing out. And now, the moment most of you skipped the video for. Here's Rory Mercury. Thanks for watching. I hope you were able to get a few tips for your own projects, and remember to stick around to see next week's model. Bye-bye.